Swan, which is the Stranded Workers Action Network. It's a large group of volunteers that's trying to help people who are stranded, migrants in particular, and tracking how they're doing. Anindita, when you see these pictures, for instance, of migrants now fighting over food packets, is that really a clear sign of how desperate things have become?
Yeah, Nidhi, listening to the reports, we aren't surprised because we've been receiving calls like this sort of almost in anticipation of the situation over the last 40 plus days. So given that for 40 days, we've released 2 reports and we've been in touch with approximately 17,000 workers from across the country. And given that the situation was already desperate, where 64% have less than 100 rupees left with them. Only 6% have been paid their full wages during the lockdown, despite repeated orders from the Ministry of Labour. This situation it's reached a crescendo now. And given that there were two extensions of the lockdown, people were now desperate and ready to to go home. So now when the 3rd lockdown was extended, we aren't surprised because the situation was anticipated. However, the way the government has dealt with this is it's deceived workers yet again. So not only did you not provide for them during this 40-day period and took their lives completely for granted, the way you've handled transport and travel arrangements during this critical period has only made the situation worse. So we've been tracking travel arrangements as well, looking at government websites to see to help workers coordinate between the states where they're working and the home states where they wish to go. And this is again, we find that this is a a ticket to nowhere, because while some states have set up portals for migrants to be able to go home states or receiving states sites are not functional.
Right.
So this is just one.
Anindita, sorry to come in there, because you also then have this confusion now of the Karnataka government, for instance, saying that now we're not going to allow trains to take migrants home. Can they even do that? How do you prevent people who want to move from moving?
Right. So, so this is absolutely abominable. This is a violation of a fundamental rights under Article 23 and Article 21, which is the freedom of movement, the right to dignity, and these are sheer violations of our constitutional provisions. It amounts to nothing short of forced labor and keeping people back against their will. And really, what we've been asking for, and what these voices of migrants that just spoke on your show are saying, is give us the choice. We must be able to make the choice to return home or to stay and work autonomously. And we are stripping them of this very basic right to make an autonomous choice to stay or to leave.
All right, Anindita Adhikari, thanks for giving us some perspective there on this important story. Thanks for joining us. We'll take a break, and when we come back, in fact, we look at that rather controversial decision by the Karnataka government, which has justified it in the name of the welfare of the migrants. But there is a lot of backlash to that. That's coming up next.